Drake has finally snapped, and this time, the entire hip-hop world is watching in disbelief. Just when you thought you'd seen every meltdown possible, the Toronto superstar unleashed what fans are calling his craziest rant ever, a live stream. Tirades so unhinged, so brutally emotional that producers are scrambling, insiders are leaking. And Kendrick Lamar has already fired back with a devastating response that has the culture in flames. Picture this: Drake pacing under dim blue lights, sweat pouring, voice cracking as he rages about betrayal, conspiracies, and how the industry set him up to fail. He claims he's the one everyone used, that he built the game and now they want to bury him. The words shook his supporters, but critics, they saw the same old story, Drake playing the victim once again. But this time, the stakes are different. Because Kendrick didn't just let it slide. In the middle of his own sold-out show, Kendrick looked his crowd dead in the eye and said, "Kings don't cry when the kingdom gets tested." The crowd roared. His clip went viral instantly. The timing, the precision, the dagger-like delivery, it was a clapback, so sharp that fans are calling it the death blow in this already bitter war. The internet is divided, celebrities are picking sides, and insiders are whispering that the worst leaks haven't even hit the surface yet. So the only question now is, was this the end of Drake's reign, or the beginning of his most dangerous transformation yet? It started like any other late-night live stream, but within seconds, it turned into a cultural earthquake. Drake, sitting in a dimly lit studio surrounded by half-empty bottles and glowing monitors, leaned into the camera and unleashed a tirade that fans swear is the most unhinged rant of his career. His eyes looked heavy, his voice cracked, and the words pouring out didn't sound like carefully calculated bars or polished PR spin. No, this was raw, unstable, and dripping with bitterness. He wasn't just venting, he was detonating bombs at his enemies, his friends, and even his own legacy. You know what the problem is? Drake barked, pointing at the lens like he was accusing the entire world. "I put everybody on, everybody, and now I'm the villain. Now I'm the one they want to bury. After I fed families, gave careers, put people on stages they never deserved to touch. This is how they repay me." The chat lit up instantly. Tens of thousands watching live typed in disbelief. Some were spamming facts, cheering Drake on, others were horrified, typing, "He's spiraling, and this ain't it." Within minutes, clips of the rant were already being screen recorded, chopped, and circulated across Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. The world wasn't going to wait for the full stream. The explosion had already begun, but Drake didn't stop there. He pounded his chest and declared, "They've been twisting the narrative for years. They want me to look weak. They want me to be the bad guy, Kendrick. Kendrick been playing chess, acting like he the king. But I see through it. I know what it is. You build an empire off my name, and then you want to pretend I never existed." The name drop was all it took. The moment Kendrick's name entered the conversation, the internet lost its mind. Fans clipped that sentence alone and posted it with captions like, "Drake just dragged Kendrick into the fire again, and this beef will never die." Within 20 minutes, the hashtag Drake Meltdown was trending in multiple countries. According to insiders, Drake's team tried to cut the stream mid-rant, but he kept restarting it from his phone. One anonymous source claimed, "We tried to pull the plug, but he locked himself in the room. He wanted this to be seen. He wanted blood." And blood is what he got. Because while some fans applauded his honesty, many more accused him of slipping deeper into self-pity. The man once hailed as the smooth operator of rap was now pacing like a cornered fighter, crying out about conspiracies, fake friends, and an industry plotting against him. "I was a child actor, right? They all said I wouldn't make it. They laughed at me, but I made it. I conquered. And now because I'm not from where THEY from, because I'm not their definition of a gangster, I don't belong. What more do you want from me?" That line, "What more do you want from me?" It instantly became a meme. Some compared it to Tyrese's infamous crying rant years ago. Others said Drake sounded more like a heartbroken ex-boyfriend than the self-proclaimed sex god. But the impact was undeniable. This wasn't just a meltdown. This was history unfolding live. And then came the part that fans said crossed the line. "You know what hurts the most?" Drake muttered, his voice lowering to a near whisper, like he was finally letting his guard down. "The people who sit front row at my shows, the ones I thought were loyal. They're the same ones sending clips to Kendrick's camp, feeding him lines, feeding him ammo. Y'all don't get it? The whole game been rigged against me." The accusation hit like dynamite. Was Drake actually suggesting that his own fans were double agents? That Kendrick's team had infiltrated his inner circle? Within hours, hip-hop blogs were running with the headline, "Drake claims Kendrick spies infiltrated his shows." Insider leaks soon poured gasoline on the fire. One source close to production claimed Drake's been paranoid for weeks. He's convinced someone on his team is leaking rehearsal footage to Kendrick's camp. He even confronted a crew member and had him escorted out. The paranoia was spilling over into public view, and for critics, it was confirmation of what they'd suspected all along: Drake was unraveling. Meanwhile, Kendrick wasted no time. Hours after the rant went viral, he hit the stage at his latest tour stop in Houston. In the middle of a song, he cut the beat, grabbed the mic, and smirked. Then he dropped the line that would send shockwaves across the culture. "Kings don't cry when the kingdom gets tested." The crowd erupted. Fans screamed like they were witnessing the nail in Drake's coffin. The clip spread like wildfire, with captions like, "Kendrick just ethered Drake with one sentence, and this is why he's the king." But Kendrick wasn't done. He doubled down with a sly grin. If you spend your whole career playing the victim, don't be surprised when the crowd stops listening. Boom! Another shot fired. And just like that, the internet crowned Kendrick the winner again. But behind the scenes, sources say Drake's camp was in chaos. Leaked DMs surfaced, showing Drake's associates pleading with him to step back, to let the rant fade before it got worse. One supposed text read, "Bro, stop feeding him. Every time you go live, you make it bigger. Chill." Drake, according to the leak, replied with just 3 words: "They need me." And that's where the tragedy lies. Drake truly believes the world revolves around him, that even in his breakdowns, he's giving the culture what it craves. And in a twisted way, it's right. Because as fans tore each other apart on Twitter, some defending him, others mocking him, the numbers didn't lie. His stream had shattered records. His name was everywhere. But so was Kendrick's. And as the smoke cleared from the night of the rant, one thing was certain: this wasn't just another Drake meltdown. This was the opening act of a war that was about to get uglier than anyone imagined. Because if you thought Drake's rant was the end, just wait until you hear the audio clips that didn't make it online. Yes, insiders are whispering that the worst is yet to come. Entire sections of the rant were too raw to release, but they exist. And if those leaks see the light of day, they could destroy everything Drake has left. And that, my friends, is where we leave part 1. A superstar on the edge. A rival king sharpening his blade, and a fan base divided like never before. The question now isn't whether Drake will recover. The question is, will he even survive the fallout? If part 1 felt like a meltdown, part 2 is the fallout. And trust me, the smoke hasn't even cleared yet. The night after Drake's rant, the internet was still reeling. Clips of him pacing, shouting, whispering about betrayal had already been cut into memes, TikTok edits, and Twitter threads that wouldn't die down. But then came the twist nobody was ready for. More audio leaked, not from the stream, not from the fans. Fans who heard the leak were stunned. Was Drake actually suggesting that Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale himself, was orchestrating some secret industry coup? Some called it paranoia. Others said it was the realest thing Drake had ever admitted. Or either way, The damage was immediate. The hashtag OVO War Room started trending within hours. But it didn't stop there. Another portion of the leak featured Drake lashing out at someone close. "I know you sent him that clip," Drake snapped. "Don't lie to me. Don't ever lie to me again. You think I don't got eyes in this room?" Insiders say the target of his rage was a longtime crew member, someone who had been with him since the early OVO days. That revelation alone set the blogs on fire. Imagine the betrayal. Drake's paranoia might not be paranoia at all. Could Kendrick really have allies inside Drake's camp? Meanwhile, Kendrick was thriving. At his next show in Dallas, he added fuel to the fire without even saying Drake's name. "When your enemy tells on himself," Kendrick said to a roaring crowd, "you don't even gotta respond. The truth does it for you." Fans screamed, phones shot up, and within minutes, soundbite was trending with the caption, "Kendrick just buried Drake without a diss track." Back in Toronto, the walls were closing in. Reports surfaced that Drake canceled a rehearsal unexpectedly, locking himself away for nearly 12 hours. According to one source, he was pacing the whole time, talking about who he could trust. He even said he was ready to burn bridges. That loyalty didn't exist anymore. That very night, an anonymous DM sent to multiple gossip blogs claimed to have proof. Attached was a grainy photo showing Drake alone in a dark studio, hunched over his phone with dozens of unread messages flashing across the screen. The caption, "Man don't even trust his own circle anymore." Kendrick got him shaking. Fans divided instantly. Some defended Drake, saying the leaks were proof of how much pressure he's under. Others mocked him for sounding like a conspiracy theorist unraveling in real time. But the whispers didn't stop. And then came the twist that made everything explode even more. Leaked text messages, screenshots began circulating on Twitter. ALLEJEDLY showing Drake arguing with an unnamed industry exec. One message from Drake read, "If y'all keep feeding Kendrick my plays, don't ask me for another hit. I'll sink this whole ship before I let him eat off me again." The reply, "This ain't about him. This about you. Take the L. Take the L." That phrase alone turned into a viral meme. Fans mocked it with photos of Drake crying, with GIFs of him being handed giant cartoon L's, with TikToks looping the words over his past meltdowns. But others noticed something darker. Was this proof that the labels were siding with Kendrick? That even Drake's own industry partners were telling him to sit down? Meanwhile, Kendrick's fans were having the time of their lives. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. Kendrick just standing on stage being quiet while Drake fighting ghosts in his own camp. Poetic justice. But here's where the chaos turned nuclear. A second audio leak dropped, and this one had Drake going off about the public itself. "Y'all don't deserve me," he hissed. "I gave you anthems, gave you summers, gave you albums you still play at weddings, and now you flip on me. Nah, I see how it is. Y'all want Kendrick? Fine. But don't come back when he's too busy being deep to give you a hook." That single rant lit the internet on fire. Critics said Drake was finally admitting what many believed, that he saw fans as disposable, loyal only when it served him. The backlash was swift. Hashtags like #Drake Unhinged and #Drake Victim Tour took over the timeline. Memes of him holding Grammy trophies with captions like "When playing the victim is the only genre left" went viral. But the biggest bombshell? Kendrick's sly response online. Hours after the audio leaked, Kendrick posted a single tweet. "Loyalty greater than legacy." No context, no tags, just those two words. And yet the internet knew exactly what he meant. Drake was fighting for legacy. Kendrick was reminding the world that loyalty, something Drake's circle seemed to be crumbling under, mattered more. The tweet racked up millions of views in less than a day, with fans calling it the softest yet deadliest shot ever fired. Behind the scenes, however, things were even messier. One anonymous insider claimed Drake called an emergency, meeting with his OVO crew, demanding loyalty pledges on the spot. Another alleged he even hinted at cutting ties with major names he once called brothers. He was done pretending, the source said. If he thinks you're with Kendrick, you're gone. But here's the kicker. While Drake was busy purging his inner circle, Kendrick was making moves of his own. At his next concert, he brought out a surprise guest, none other than J. Cole. The two performed side by side, sending fans into a frenzy. Twitter exploded with speculation. Was this a new alliance? Was J. Cole now officially siding with Kendrick in the war against Drake? Drake saw the clip. And according to a leaked voicemail circulating online, he didn't take it well. The alleged recording supposedly sent to a close friend had Drake snapping. Oh, so Cole wanna play that game now? 8. Bet. He forgot who put him on those playlists. He forgot who gave him that shine. Watch what happens next. Whether the voicemail was real or fabricated didn't matter. Fans believed it. Blogs ran with it. The narrative was set. Drake wasn't just beefing with Kendrick anymore. The circle of enemies was expanding. By the end of that week, the story wasn't about one rant. It was about a superstar unraveling, enemies circling, allies defecting, and a culture divided. The victim narrative Drake clung to was backfiring spectacularly. Instead of sympathy, he was being clowned. Instead of loyalty, he was being abandoned. And instead of fear, Kendrick was smiling, calm, steady, feeding the fire with cryptic words. That hit harder than any diss track. And just when fans thought they'd seen the worst, another leak dropped. This time, not from Drake, from Kendrick's camp. A mysterious, heavily edited clip surfaced, showing Drake in what looked like a rehearsal, ranting about names he shouldn't have mentioned. The caption, "Yanked. Ready for the receipts." The internet froze. Were more leaks on the way? Was Kendrick holding back nuclear-level receipts to destroy Drake's career once and for all? That's the cliffhanger. Part 2 ends with Drake isolated, Kendrick ascendant, and the promise of receipts that could break the internet once they drop. The world is waiting. The war is escalating. And the only question now is, when the receipts land, will Drake finally break for good? The word receipts is poison in hip-hop. It doesn't just mean proof. It means destruction. And when Kendrick's camp teased that caption, "You ain't ready for the receipts," the internet went feral. Fans stayed awake, refreshing timelines, waiting for whatever bomb was about to drop. And then, like a thunderclap at midnight, the first clip landed. It wasn't a diss track. It wasn't even a freestyle. It was a recorded phone call. The audio was grainy but unmistakable. It was Drake's voice. And he wasn't talking about music. He was talking about strategy. "I already told y'all," he muttered on the call. "If Kendrick wins another award before me, I'm done working. With those blogs, they're not with me. They're with him. And if I gotta leak some dirt to slow him down, so be it." The internet lost its mind. Drake wasn't just playing the victim. He was allegedly admitting to planting stories, sabotaging Kendrick behind the scenes, pulling strings to tilt the industry in his favor. Within hours, hashtags like #DrakeSabotage and #KendrickReceipts were trending worldwide. But that was just the opening shot. The second leak was even deadlier. A video clip from inside a studio session showing Drake ranting to his team. His voice cracked as he slammed his hand on the table. "Y'all act like Kendrick is some saint. He got skeletons too. But no, everybody wanna pretend. You really think Kendrick clean? You think he don't got dirt? Y'all worshiping him like he God? Nah, he's just a man. I'm not afraid to show y'all what I got." The live ended abruptly, but it was enough to spark panic. Enough to make fans believe Drake was threatening to drop his receipts on Kendrick. And sure enough, that night, an Instagram account connected to OVO posted a cryptic story. A folder icon with the label insurance policy. The internet froze. Was Drake really about to risk it all and expose Kendrick? Was this about to become the ugliest war in hip-hop history? Meanwhile, more betrayal bubbled up behind the scenes. An anonymous insider told blogs that not everyone in Drake's camp supported this scorched earth plan. Some begged him to back down. Others allegedly warned him that if he went after Kendrick with false dirt, it would end his career for good. But Drake wasn't listening. He felt cornered. He felt betrayed. And cornered men don't play nice. By now, the public had split into factions. Hashtag Team Drake diehards claimed the leaks were fake, doctored by Kendrick's camp to ruin him. Hashtag Team Kendrick. Stans insisted every word was real, proof that Drake was unraveling and exposing himself. And then there were the casual fans, just watching the chaos with popcorn, tweeting, "This is better than Netflix. Don't ever end this beef." But the scariest twist came from Kendrick's camp. Because just as Drake teased dropping his insurance policy, Kendrick's team teased one last leak. This one was labeled the final proof. And when it dropped, the internet stopped breathing. It was video, clear, no edits, no excuses. Drake in a dressing room talking to someone off camera. His words burned the screen. "I built Chrissy Teigen's husband. I built Kendrick. I built Cole. I built Weekend. They all ate because of me. And now they turn on me. Cool. But when I fall, I'm taking everybody down with me." That video detonated the internet. Not only was Drake lashing out at Kendrick, he dragged other names into it too. Suddenly, John Legend was trending. The Weeknd was trending. J. Cole was trending. It wasn't just Drake versus Kendrick anymore. Drake had declared war on everyone, and the fallout was instant. John Legend tweeted, "Keep my family out your mouth." The Weeknd posted a wolf emoji with the caption, "Built myself. Thanks." And Cole posted nothing, but fans swore his silence was the loudest clapback of all. As the leaks spread, Drake's tour dates began to falter. Venues reported production delays. Fans demanded refunds. One promoter even told TMZ, "We don't know if Drake's mental state is stable enough to perform." Kendrick, he delivered the coldest move of the war. During his next show, he performed Humble. But before the final verse, he paused, looked at the crowd, and simply said, "Victims don't wear crowns." Then he dropped the mic. The clip went viral instantly. Fans declared it the death blow. Memes crowned Kendrick the undisputed king. Drake's name was dragged through the mud like never before. And yet, the story didn't end there, because just when everyone thought Drake was finished, he posted one last message on his story. Black background, white text, 6 words. "They leaked mine. I'll leak his." The internet gasped. Was Drake bluffing? Or was he about to unleash receipts on Kendrick that could flip the entire narrative upside down? Nobody knows. Not yet. But one thing is certain. The war is no longer about music. It's about survival. And the next move will decide who walks away a king and who crumbles in front of the world. And there you have it, the most shocking, chaotic, and downright messy chapter in hip-hop's biggest feud yet. Drake's meltdown, Kendrick's icy responses, the leaks, the betrayals. It's no longer just about music. It's about legacy, survival, and who the culture will remember when the dust finally settles. But here's the thing. This story is far from over. Drake has already teased that he's ready to leak his own receipts on Kendrick. If that happens, hip-hop history won't just be rewritten, it'll be burned to the ground. And trust me, you do not want to be the last one to find out when that bomb finally drops. So now I'm turning it over to you. Do you think Drake has something real that could end Kendrick's reign? Or is this just another desperate ploy from a man spiraling in front of the world? It's truly winning this war. The victim or the king? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this debate is about to get even louder and your voice matters. Before you go, smash that like button if you believe the truth always comes out, no matter how deep it's buried. Subscribe And turn on that notification bell, because the next update in this saga could drop any minute. And when it does, you'll want to be the first to know. This is no longer just beef. This is history unfolding before our eyes.